Jinnah pulled her hood lower over her face as she walked through the busy market on Keltra 9. She kept her head down. She had to be careful. If anyone saw her round eyes or the 5 fingers on each hand, they would know she was human. And being human was dangerous. "Stop blocking the path, dirt creature," growled a tall, 4-armed alien as it pushed past her. Jinnah mumbled an apology and moved to the side. The alien didn't even look back. To him, she was just another mixed-breed worker, not worth noticing. That was good. Being noticed was the last thing Jinnah wanted. The Doric Empire had attacked Earth 50 years ago. They killed many humans and took the rest as slaves. Now humans were rare, kept as pets or workers across thousands of worlds. Jinnah was lucky. She had grown up hidden away on this mining colony, raised by an old robot called MX4. MX4 had found her as a baby, left behind when her parents' ship crashed. The robot had taught her to wrap her hand so people would think she had only 3 fingers like the Veltraxians. He showed her how to use special eye drops that made her eyes look purple with cat-like pupils. These tricks kept her safe. Jinnah reached the shipyard where she worked. She was the best mechanic on Keltra 9, even though she was only 19. She could fix anything. What no one knew was that Jinnah could hear machines speak. They whispered to her, telling her what was wrong and how to fix them. "You're late, Jinnah," said Foreman Gax, his green skin wrinkling around his single eye. "The Imperial scout ship needs repairs by tomorrow." "I'll get it done," Jinnah said, walking past rows of ships to the far end of the yard. The Imperial scout ship was small but fast. Jinnah placed her hand on its cold metal hull, and right away she heard its voice in her head. Asterisk pain. Left engine. Broken connection. Asterisk. "I hear you," she whispered. "I'll fix you." Jinnah worked all day, her small hands moving quickly through the ship's engine. The other mechanics used scanners and computers to find problems. Jinnah didn't need those. The machines told her exactly what they needed. As the colony's 3 suns began to set, Jinnah was deep inside the ship's control room. Her fingers found a loose panel behind the pilot's seat. Curious, she pulled it open. There was a small space behind it, just big enough to hide something. Inside was a cube, about the size of her palm. It glowed with a soft blue light. Jinnah had never seen anything like it. When her fingers touched it, the cube grew brighter. Suddenly, images flashed in Jinnah's mind. She saw Earth, blue oceans, green forests, white clouds. She saw humans living in cities, free and happy. She saw ships hidden on distant planets, with humans inside planning something. Then she heard words, clear as if someone stood next to her. Asterisk, find us. The key to defeating the Empire is in your blood. Asterisk. Jinnah gasped and dropped the cube. The images stopped. She looked around, but she was alone. With shaking hands, she picked up the cube again. It was warm now, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. She should report this. Finding Imperial property and not turning it in was a serious crime. But something told Jinnah this cube was meant for her. Jinnah slipped the cube into her pocket just as alarms began to sound across the shipyard. Red lights flashed. Over the speakers, a harsh voice announced, "Attention all workers. Imperial inspection tomorrow morning. All stations must be cleared. Any unauthorized technology will be confiscated. Violators will be executed." Jinnah's heart raced. Someone had noticed the energy from the cube. The Empire was coming. She needed to run. Tonight, Jinnah ran through the dark streets of the colony. The blue cube felt heavy in her pocket. She needed to get to MX4. The old robot would know what to do. Her small home sat at the edge of the worker district. It wasn't much, just 2 rooms with metal walls, but it was safe, or it had been until now. MX4. Jinnah called as she burst through the door. "We have trouble." The robot turned its dented silver head. Its eyes glowed a soft orange in the dim light. "I heard the alarms, Jinnah. Tell me what happened." Jinnah showed MX4 the cube. I found this on the Imperial ship. When I touched it, I saw Earth. I saw other humans. It spoke to me. MX4 made a humming sound, which Jinnah knew meant it was thinking. That is an architect artifact. Very old. Very rare. The Empire has been looking for these for many years. What's an architect? Jinnah asked. An ancient race. They built great things long ago, then disappeared. The Empire wants their technology. MX4 moved to a wall and pressed a hidden button. The wall slid open, revealing a small storage space. I have prepared for this day, Jinnah. You must leave Keltra 9 tonight. Inside the space was a bag with food, water, clothes, and credits. There was also a small blaster and a set of ship keys. These are for the old cargo runner in the back repair bay, MX4 said. It is small but fast. It will get you away from here. Jinnah's eyes filled with tears. Come with me. MX4 shook its head. I cannot. Someone must stay to slow down the Imperial guards. They will track the cube's energy. I will create a false trail. No, they'll destroy you. Jinnah grabbed the robot's metal arm. I have lived for 187 years, Jinnah. I have seen the rise of the Empire. I want to see its fall. You can make that happen. MX4 pointed to the cube. That is just one of 7 keys. The humans in hiding need them all. They need you. Jinnah wanted to argue, but MX4 was already moving. The robot led her through back alleys to the shipyard. At this late hour, only security droids patrolled the area. Wait here, MX4 said, then rolled toward the main gate. Jinnah watched as MX4 connected to the gate's control panel. The security droid suddenly turned and marched away, heading for the other side of the yard. The lights on the fence went dark. Now, MX4 called. Jinnah ran across the open space to the repair bay. The cargo runner sat in the shadows, a small ship with chipped paint and dull metal plating. It didn't look like much, but Jinnah could hear its engine humming with strength. Asterisk ready to fly. Strong. Fast. Asterisk. She climbed inside and started the engines. Through the window, she saw MX4 wave once before rolling away. Jinnah swallowed hard, trying not to cry. She might never see her robot friend again. The ship lifted off smoothly. Jinnah flew low, keeping to the shadows until she reached the edge of the colony's bubble shield. She punched in the exit code MX4 had given her, and a small hole opened in the shield. The ship slipped through. Freedom. For the first time in her life, Jinnah was off Keltra 9. Stars stretched out before her in the blackness of space. She had a moment to enjoy the view before the ship's alarm started beeping. 3 large shapes appeared on the radar. Imperial cruisers. They had been waiting in orbit. No, no, no. Jinnah hit the accelerator, but the cargo runner was no match for military ships. Bright lights locked onto her vessel as the cruisers moved to surround her. Suddenly, the cube in her pocket began to glow brighter. It grew hot against her leg. A voice spoke in her mind. Asterisk, command us. Asterisk. Jinnah didn't understand, but she felt a strange connection forming between her, the cube, and the ship. It was like the way she talked to machines, but stronger, much stronger. Without thinking, she placed her hand on the ship's control panel and closed her eyes. Fly, she whispered. Take me away from here. The cargo runner's engine roared to life with new power. The ship shot forward at impossible speed, leaving the Imperial cruisers behind. Stars blurred around her as the ship jumped into hyperspace on its own, following a path Jinnah had never set. She was free, but where was she going? Jinnah woke with a start. Her ship was no longer moving. The engines were quiet. Looking out the window, she saw only darkness and distant stars. Where am I? She whispered. The ship's computer flashed to life. You have reached your destination. Jinnah checked the navigation system. According to the map, she was in the Forbidden Zone, a part of space the Empire avoided. Strange things happened here. Ships disappeared. No one came back. She felt scared. Why had the cube brought her here? There was nothing but empty space. Then she saw it, a large asteroid floating nearby. It looked like any other space rock, but Jinnah felt something pull her toward it. The cube in her pocket was warm again. She guided her ship closer. As she approached, part of the asteroid's surface shimmered and disappeared, revealing the hidden entrance. A docking bay inside glowed with soft blue light. Jinnah landed her ship carefully. She grabbed her bag and the cube, then stepped out. The air was cool but breathable. The docking bay was empty except for a few other small ships. "Hello," she called. Her voice echoed. "Is anyone here?" A door slid open at the far end of the bay. A man stepped through. He was tall with dark hair and brown eyes. Human eyes. Jinnah gasped. She hadn't seen another human since she was a small child. "Welcome to Haven," the man said with a smile. "My name is Du-hyun. We've been waiting for you." "Waiting for me?" Jinnah asked. "How did you know I was coming?" "The architect key you carry sent us a signal when you connected with it." Du-hyun pointed to the cube. "That's how we know you're special." He led Jinnah through tunnels carved into the asteroid. They passed rooms filled with equipment, food gardens growing under special lights, and training areas where people practiced fighting. "This is the last free human base in the galaxy," Du-hyun explained. "We've been hiding here for 15 years, gathering our strength." They entered a large room where 3 more people waited. Du-hyun introduced them. "This is Ha-won, our strategist, Tai-young, our best fighter, and Je-ho, our scientist." Jinnah looked at their faces in wonder. They were all human. She wasn't alone anymore. "Show them," Du-hyun said. Jinnah took out the cube. It glowed brighter in her hands. Je-ho's eyes widened. "It responds to her so strongly." He brought out another cube, this one glowing with green light. When he placed it near Jinnah's blue cube, both lights pulsed in the same rhythm. "What are these?" Jinnah asked. Je-ho explained. The architects were an ancient race that lived millions of years ago. They built incredible technology, then disappeared. They left behind 7 keys, like your cube. When all 7 are brought together, they activate the architect's greatest creation, the Nexus. "What's the Nexus?" Jinnah asked. "A network of machines that can control all technology in the galaxy," Ha-won said. "The Empire wants it to strengthen their power. We want it to free everyone from their control." "The Empire has already found 3 keys," Tai-young added. "We have 2, counting yours. We need to find the last 2 before they do." Jinnah felt overwhelmed. Yesterday, she was just a mechanic. Now she was part of something much bigger. "Why am I here?" she asked. "Why me?" Du-hyun looked at her carefully. "Humans have a special connection to architect technology. Our brains can interface with it in ways other species can't. That's why the Empire hunted us down. But you, Jinnah, your connection is stronger than any we've seen before. You can hear machines speak, can't you?" Jinnah nodded, surprised. "How did you know?" "Because all humans with the gift can do it a little. But you can do it a lot." Du-hyun smiled. "The architects designed their technology to respond to minds like yours. With your help, we might finally have a chance against the Empire." Jinnah looked around at the 4 faces watching her. They needed her. After years of hiding who she was, someone wanted her because she was human. "When do we start?" she asked. Ha-won smiled. "Right now." 3 months passed quickly. Jinnah trained every day with the Resistance. She learned to fight from Tai-young, to plan from Ha-won, and to understand architect technology from Je-ho. But most importantly, she learned to control her special ability. "Focus," Du-hyun said as they sat in the training room. "Don't just hear the machines. Speak to them. Tell them what to do." Jinnah closed her eyes. A small drone floated in front of her. She could hear its quiet hum. Asterisk flying. Waiting. Ready. Asterisk. Move left, she thought. Nothing happened. You're trying too hard, Do-hyun said. Don't push. Connect. Jinna took a deep breath. She imagined her mind touching the drone systems, becoming part of them. Asterisk, we are one asterisk, she thought. Asterisk, move left asterisk. The drone shifted smoothly to the left. Good. Do-hyun smiled. Now make it spin. The drone spun in a perfect circle. Soon Jinna could control any machine in the base without touching it. She could access computers, open doors, and pilot ships with just her thoughts. The blue cube stayed with her always, growing warmer and brighter as her powers grew. One night, Do-hyun called everyone to the main room. We found another key, he said, pointing to a map on the big screen. It's on Lintus, an agricultural moon. Imperial Governor Kran keeps it in his palace. The palace is heavily guarded, Ha-won warned. We can't fight our way in. We don't have to, Jinna said. She had been thinking about this. The Empire collects rare species, right? Let them collect me. Everyone stared at her. No, Tae-young said firmly. Too dangerous. It could work, Jae-ho said slowly. Jinna looks human. No disguise needed. The Empire wants to collect the last humans they can find. Once I'm inside, Jinna explained, I can connect to the palace systems and find the key. They argued for hours, but in the end, they agreed it was their best chance. A week later, Jinna found herself on a transport ship heading to Lintus. The ship belonged to a creature named Vox, who sold rare items to the rich and powerful. He thought Jinna was just another product. The palace was huge and white, surrounded by green fields. Guards led Jinna to a large room with glass walls. Other creatures were kept in similar rooms, all rare, all valuable, all prisoners. The governor will see his new acquisition tomorrow, a guard said, locking the door. As soon as she was alone, Jinna closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. She could feel the palace's security systems, the cameras watching her, the locks on the doors. She touched them gently, not changing anything yet, just learning. That night, when the palace was quiet, Jinna acted. She turned the cameras away from her door and unlocked it with a thought. She slipped out into the dark hallway. Asterisk, where is the key? Asterisk, she asked the palace computers. Images flashed in her mind. A secure room, 3 floors up, behind a special door that needed the governor's handprint to open. Jinna moved silently through the palace. When guards approached, she made lights flicker in other hallways to distract them. She reached the secure room and paused at the door. This would be tricky. She placed her hand on the scanner and connected to it deeply. She pictured the governor's hand and made the scanner see what she wanted it to see. The door slid open. Inside, on a pedestal, sat a pyramid-shaped crystal glowing with red light, the 3rd architect key. As Jinna reached for it, lights suddenly flooded the room. Governor Kran stood in the doorway, his gray skin shining with anger. Thief, he hissed. Did you think I wouldn't notice someone accessing my systems? 4 security droids moved in behind him, weapons ready. Jinna didn't panic. She smiled. Actually, she said, I was counting on it. She reached out with her mind and touched the droids. They turned their weapons away from her and pointed them at the governor instead. Kran's yellow eyes widened. What are you doing? How are you doing this? I'm just talking to your machines, Jinna said, picking up the red key. And they like me better than you. News of Jinna's escape from Lintus spread quickly through the Empire. The story changed as it traveled. A human girl had stolen a precious artifact, controlled machines with her mind, and escaped without a scratch. Some said she had walked through walls. Others said she had turned invisible. The Emperor was angry, very angry. He called his best hunter to the Imperial Palace on Doric Prime. Find this human, the Emperor ordered. "Bring her to me alive." The hunter bowed. "Yes, my Emperor." His name was Kijun, and he had a secret. He was human too. The Empire had taken him as a child and changed him. They put metal parts in his body to make him stronger and faster. They put a chip in his brain to control him. The Empire used him to hunt down other humans who tried to hide. Kijun was their best weapon against his own kind. Back at Haven, Jinnah and the others celebrated their victory. They now had 3 of the 7 architect keys. The blue, green, and red keys sat together on a special table, glowing softly. "The Empire will be looking for you now," Du Hyun warned Jinnah. "You've gotten their attention." "Good," Jinnah said. "Let them look. I'm not hiding anymore." The Resistance made plans to find the next key. Their information said it was on a frozen planet called Nivalis. As they prepared their ship, an alarm sounded through the base. "Imperial ship approaching," Hadwan shouted. On the screens, they saw a small black ship coming toward their asteroid. It moved fast, too fast to be normal. "How did they find us?" Tae-young asked. "They must have put a tracker on Jinnah at the palace," Jae-ho said. Jinnah checked her clothes and found nothing. Then she remembered the necklace the governor had put around her neck before she escaped. She had thought it was just a prison marker. "We need to leave," Du Hyun said. "Now." "No," Jinnah argued. "If we run, they'll just follow us. I'll face them." "You can't," Tae-young said. "It's too dangerous." But Jinnah had made up her mind. "Get the keys to safety. I'll catch up." Before anyone could stop her, Jinnah ran to the docking bay. She stood alone as the Imperial ship landed. The door opened, and a man stepped out. Jinnah was surprised. He looked human, but not completely. His right arm was metal. His eyes glowed with a blue light that wasn't natural. "Jinnah," he said. His voice was deep and calm. "I am Kijun, Imperial Hunter. You will come with me." Jinnah reached out with her mind to touch his metal parts. To her shock, she felt nothing. No connection. "Your powers won't work on me," Kijun said. "My systems are shielded. The Empire knows what you can do now." He moved with incredible speed, crossing the room in a heartbeat. Jinnah barely had time to dodge his grab. She rolled away and ran for cover behind some cargo boxes. "You can't escape," Kijun called out. "The Empire wants you alive, but they don't care if you're hurt." Jinnah peeked around the box. Kijun was scanning the room, his blue eyes glowing brighter. "Why do you serve them?" she asked. "You're human, like me." Kijun paused. "I have no choice." "Everyone has a choice," Jinnah said. "Not me." Kijun touched his head. "They put something in my brain. I have to follow orders." Jinnah thought quickly. If she couldn't connect to his metal parts, maybe she could connect to the chip in his brain. It was still technology. She closed her eyes and focused harder than she ever had before. She pushed past his shields, searching for the control chip. Asterisk there asterisk. A small device lodged deep in his brain. Jinnah touched it gently with her mind. Asterisk shut down asterisk. Kijun froze. His blue eyes flickered. Then he fell to his knees, crying out in pain. What did you do?" he gasped. "I freed you," Jinnah said, stepping out from her hiding place. "The chip is off. You can choose now." Kijun looked up at her, his eyes no longer glowing blue. For the first time in many years, they were just human eyes, filled with confusion and a spark of hope. "They have my sister," he whispered. "That's why I hunt for them. They have my son." Jinnah helped Kijun to his feet. "Tell me about your sister," she said. "My son is kept on Silex Station," Kijun explained. "They use her to make sure I obey. If I fail a mission, they hurt her." Jinnah thought for a moment. "Come with me. Help us fight the Empire, and we'll save my son." Kijun looked unsure. "How can I trust you?" "The same way I'm trusting you right now," Jinnah replied. She held out her hand. After a long pause, Ki-jun took it. They left in Ki-jun's ship. Jin-ah contacted the resistance with a special code to let them know she was safe. Do-hyun was angry that she had brought an Imperial hunter with her, but he agreed to meet them on Nivalis, where they were heading to find the fourth key. Nivalis was a world of ice and snow. The resistance ship had landed near a frozen lake where their scans had detected strange energy. Jin-ah, Ki-jun, and the others trudged through deep snow to reach it. "The key is under the ice," Jae-ho said, checking his scanner. "Deep under." They set up drilling equipment, but as they worked, the sky filled with Imperial ships. "They followed us," Tae-young shouted. "No," Ki-jun said. "They put a tracker in my ship." 5 Imperial landers descended, carrying at least 30 soldiers each. The resistance had nowhere to run. "Get the key," Do-hyun ordered Jin-ah. "We'll hold them off." Jin-ah ran to the drilling site while the others prepared to fight. The drill had nearly reached its target when the first shots flew through the air. The resistance fighters took cover and fired back, but they were badly outnumbered. Jin-ah watched in horror as her friends fought for their lives. There were too many Imperial soldiers. They needed help. Then she had an idea. She pulled out the 3 keys they already had: blue, green, and red. When she held them together, they began to pulse with light. Jin-ah closed her eyes and focused. She pushed her mind into the keys, feeling their ancient power. They were connected to something deep under the ice. Something waiting. "Asterisk, wake up, asterisk," she called. "Asterisk, helpless, asterisk." The ice cracked. The ground shook. From the frozen lake, a massive shape rose up, a machine bigger than any Jin-ah had seen before. It was made of a shining metal that seemed to absorb light. It had long arms and legs, and a head with no face, just a smooth surface that reflected like a mirror. Everyone stopped fighting and stared. "Asterisk, Architect Guardian." Asterisk, the machine's voice boomed in Jin-ah's mind. Asterisk, awaiting instructions, asterisk. "Stop the Imperial soldiers," Jin-ah said. "Don't kill them. Just stop them." The Guardian moved with surprising grace for something so large. It swept its arms across the battlefield, sending Imperial soldiers flying back without hurting them. Their weapons stopped working. Their ships lost power and settled gently to the ground. In minutes, the battle was over. The Guardian turned to Jin-ah and knelt, lowering its mirror-like face to her level. A compartment in its chest opened, revealing a yellow crystal key. "The fourth key," Jin-ah whispered, taking it. As soon as she held all 4 keys together, a bright light shot up from them into the sky. A map appeared, floating in the air, showing a star system Jin-ah didn't recognize. "The location of the 5th key," Jae-ho said in awe. Do-hyun approached them, limping slightly. "We've won this fight, but the Emperor will send more ships." Ki-jun nodded. "And he knows what Jin-ah can do now. He'll be afraid." "Good," Jin-ah said. "He should be." As they headed back to their ships, Do-hyun pulled Jin-ah aside. His face was serious. "There's something I never told you," he said quietly. "Something about your parents." Jin-ah stopped. "My parents? What about them?" "They weren't just random humans," Do-hyun said. "They were scientists who discovered the first key. They studied it and realized what humans could do with architect technology. They changed their baby, you, to connect better with it." Jin-ah felt her world shift. "You mean I was made for this? I was changed." "You're special, Jin-ah. More special than you know." As the words sank in, the Guardian suddenly collapsed back into the ice with a thunderous crash. At the same moment, Do-hyun gasped and fell to his knees, blood spreading across his chest. An Imperial soldier had managed to fire one last shot before being frozen by the Guardian. "Do-hyun!" Jin-ah screamed, running to him. Jin-ah held Do-hyun's hand as he took his last breaths. His final words were, "Find all the keys. Save everyone." The resistance buried Du Hyun in the ice of Nivalis. They stood in silence, saying goodbye to their leader and friend. Jinnah felt empty inside. Du Hyun had been the first human to welcome her, to believe in her. "What do we do now?" Ha-won asked after the funeral. "We keep going," Jinnah said. "We find the last keys." The map from the 4 keys showed the 5th key was on Dorek Prime, the capital planet of the Empire, and the most dangerous place for them to go. It was kept in the Emperor's palace. "We can't just fly there," Taeyang argued. "Security is too tight." "We need a plan," Jinnah agreed. They traveled to a small moon called Rith, far from Imperial patrols. There they made their base in an abandoned mining facility and planned their next move. Kejun proved very helpful. He knew the Empire's security systems and protocols. "The Emperor is holding a big celebration soon," he explained. "The Day of Unity, when representatives from all worlds come to show their loyalty." "Perfect," Jinnah said. "We can go as traders." They spent weeks preparing. Ha-won and Jinnah would pose as merchants selling rare fabrics. Kejun would use his imperial codes to get them through security. Jiho and Taeyang would stay on their ship, ready to help them escape. When the day came, Jinnah felt nervous but ready. She, Ha-won, and Kejun boarded a transport to Dorek Prime, carrying boxes of beautiful cloth from distant worlds. Dorek Prime was nothing like Jinnah had imagined. The planet was covered in massive cities that reached into the clouds. The Imperial Palace sat at the center of the capital city, a huge structure of black stone and glowing blue lights. Their ship landed at the trade port. Guards checked their papers and scanned their cargo. "Purpose of visit?" a guard asked. "Day of Unity celebrations," Ha-won answered calmly. "We bring fabrics for the nobles." The guard looked at their papers again. Kejun's codes worked. They were allowed to enter. The palace was full of aliens from across the galaxy. Some had multiple arms or eyes. Others were just clouds of gas in special suits. All had come to show loyalty to the Emperor. Jinnah reached out with her mind, touching the palace systems gently. She created a map in her head, locating security cameras and guard stations. "The key is in the Emperor's private collection," she whispered to Ha-won, "and Kejun, top floor, North Tower." "How do we get there?" Ha-won asked. "That area is restricted." Before Jinnah could answer, alarms started blaring. A voice came over the speakers. "All visitors must remain where they are. Security scan in progress." "They're looking for humans," Kejun said quietly. "They must have detected us somehow." Guards began moving through the crowd, scanning everyone. They were getting closer. "We need a distraction," Ha-won said. Jinnah touched a nearby control panel with her mind. She could cause a power failure, but that might lock down the palace. She needed something bigger. Then she saw him, a tall figure in black robes moving through the crowd. His skin was pale gray, and his eyes glowed purple. Everyone moved out of his way. "The Imperial Archon," Kejun whispered. "The Emperor's advisor and the most powerful psychic in the galaxy. He can sense lies and read thoughts." Jinnah felt a chill. If the Archon could read minds, he would know who she was and why she was here. But she also saw an opportunity. The Archon was heading toward the Emperor's private elevator, the one that would take them to the key. "Change of plans," Jinnah said. "We're going to get caught." "What?" Ha-won looked shocked. "Just trust me," Jinnah said. She stepped out into the open and locked eyes with the Archon. The effect was immediate. The Archon stopped moving. His purple eyes widened. He raised a long, six-fingered hand and pointed at Jinnah. "Human," he called in a voice that echoed through the hall. "Seize her." Guards rushed toward Jinnah from all directions. She didn't resist as they grabbed her arms. "Take this one to the Emperor," the Archon ordered. "He will want to see her personally." Jinnah caught Ha-won's worried eyes as the guards led her away. She gave a small nod. This was all part of her new plan. Sometimes, The best way to get somewhere restricted was to be invited in. The guards took Jinnah up to the highest tower of the palace. They entered a large round room with windows that showed the entire city. The room was mostly empty except for a strange machine in the center. The machine looked like a metal bed surrounded by tubes and wires. On it lay a figure covered by a thin sheet. Jinnah couldn't see who it was. "Leave us," a weak voice said. The guards bowed and left. Jinnah stood alone with the machine and whoever was on it. "Come closer, human," the voice said. "Let me see you." Jinnah walked forward slowly. As she got closer, the sheet moved. A thin hand appeared and pulled the cover down. Jinnah tried not to gasp. The emperor of the mighty Doric Empire was old. Very old. His gray skin hung loose on his bones. Tubes ran into his arms and chest, pumping fluids. His eyes were cloudy, but they fixed on Jinnah with surprising strength. "So you are the one," the emperor said, "the human who can speak to machines. And you're the one who destroyed Earth and hunted down my people," Jinnah replied. The emperor made a sound like a dry laugh. "Is that what you think? That I destroyed humans out of hate?" Jinnah didn't answer. "I have been alive for over 300 years. The emperor continued. "I have seen empires rise and fall. I have conquered 1,000 worlds. And do you know what I learned?" He paused, taking a labored breath. "That all of it means nothing in the end. We all die. Unless..." "Unless what?" Jinnah asked despite herself. "Unless we find a way to transcend, like the architects did." The emperor pressed a button, and a hologram appeared above his bed. It showed 7 keys, the same keys Jinnah had been collecting. "The architects didn't die out," the emperor said. "They evolved. They used the nexus to transform themselves into beings of pure energy. They left this plane of existence for something greater." Jinnah was surprised. "That's why you want the keys? To evolve?" "Yes. My body is failing. I have maybe days left to live. But with the nexus, I could become something more. Something eternal." The emperor studied Jinnah's face. "I never hated humans. I needed them. Only humans can fully connect with architect technology. That's why I kept so many alive, looking for one strong enough to activate the nexus." "You killed millions of us," Jinnah said angrily. "A necessary cost. War is never clean." The emperor waved his hand dismissively. "But now you're here. The strongest human connector I've ever seen." From a drawer beside his bed, the emperor pulled out a small object. It was purple and shaped like a star. "The 5th key." "I have this," he said. "You have 4 others. The last 2 are in a vault below this room. Together, we can activate the nexus. You will help me transcend, and in return, I will free all remaining humans. I will give them their own world to rebuild on." Jinnah stared at the key. It would be so easy to take it. But could she trust the emperor? "How do I know you'll keep your word?" she asked. "You don't. But what choice do you have? My guards will find your friend soon. Help me, and they live. Refuse, and they die." Jinnah thought fast. She could feel the palace systems all around her. The security cameras, the life support keeping the emperor alive, the elevator controls. She reached out with her mind, connecting to them all at once. "I have a counteroffer," Jinnah said calmly. "Give me the key, call off your guards, and I'll consider helping you." The emperor smiled, showing gray teeth. "You are in no position to negotiate, human. I'm connected to your life support system right now," Jinnah said. "One thought from me, and it shuts down. You'd have minutes, maybe less." The emperor's smile vanished. "You're bluffing." Jinnah made the lights flicker. The emperor's heart monitor beeped faster. "Am I?" she asked. For a long moment, they stared at each other. Then the emperor laughed. A genuine laugh this time. "You are exactly what I've been looking for," he said with something like respect. "Very well. A compromise." He handed her the purple key. Now, he said, let me tell you what the Nexus really is. The Nexus is not just a tool for transcendence, the Emperor said. It controls all technology in the galaxy. Whoever commands it, commands everything. Jinnah held the purple key tightly. So that's what you really want. More power. Power to fix a broken galaxy, the Emperor insisted. To create perfect order. Before Jinnah could respond, the door burst open. HFY, Kijun, and Taeyong rushed in, weapons ready. Jiho followed behind them. Jinnah, HFY called. Are you okay? I'm fine, Jinnah said. And I have the fifth key. The Emperor looked angry. Guards, he shouted, but his call was weak, and no one came. We disabled the security systems, Kijun explained. And we found something else. He held up two small objects in his hand, a white diamond-shaped key and a black circular key. The last two keys, Jinnah whispered. How? They were in the vault, just where you said. Taeyong answered. Jiho cracked the code. All 7 keys were now together. As Jinnah took the final 2 from Kijun, all the keys began to glow brightly. They floated out of her hands and arranged themselves in a circle in the air. A beam of light shot upward, creating a map of the galaxy. One star pulsed with special brightness. The location of the Nexus, the Emperor said, his voice hungry with desire. Now you must take me there. Jinnah looked at her friends, then back at the Emperor. No, she said simply. The Emperor's face twisted with rage. You promised. I promised to consider helping you. I've considered it. And my answer is no. The Emperor reached under his pillow and pulled out a small device. Then I will destroy everything you love. This transmitter will tell my fleets to attack every human settlement we know of. Jinnah didn't flinch. She reached out with her mind and touched the transmitter. It crumbled to dust in the Emperor's hand. It's over, Jinnah said. Your time is done. They left the Emperor in his bed, surrounded by his machines, but with no one to help him. Jinnah felt sad for him in a strange way. He had lived so long but understood so little. The resistance fighters took a ship to the coordinates shown by the keys. They found a massive space station hidden inside a nebula. It was ancient but still working, kept alive by technology that had waited millions of years for someone to return. As they landed in a huge docking bay, the 7 keys floated ahead of them, leading the way to the heart of the station. They entered a vast round room. In the center stood a column of light that reached from floor to ceiling. Around it were 7 pedestals. Each key has its place, Jiho said in awe. One by one, Jinnah placed the keys on their pedestals. As the last key settled into place, the column of light expanded, filling the room with golden brightness. A voice spoke in Jinnah's mind, stronger than any machine voice she had ever heard. Asterisk administrator recognized. Nexus activation sequence initiated. What is your comment? Asterisk. Jinnah closed her eyes. She could feel the Nexus connecting to every piece of technology in the galaxy. Every ship, every computer, every machine. With a single thought, she could control it all. The Emperor had been right about the power, but wrong about how to use it. Disable all control devices, Jinnah commanded. Free all slaves. Open all prison doors. The light pulsed in response. Across the galaxy, slave collars fell open. Prison doors unlocked. Control chips stopped working. People looked around in confusion, then understanding, then joy. Jinnah wasn't done. Send this message to every communication device. The Doric Empire has fallen. All beings are free to choose their own path now. A new council will form with representatives from all worlds, including Earth. Her friends watched in amazement as Jinnah connected fully with the Nexus. She glowed with the same golden light, her eyes shining. What will you do with all this power? HFY asked softly. Jinnah smiled. Share it. Protect it. Make sure no empire can ever rise again. The last human girl hadn't just defeated the Galactic Empire. She had replaced it with something better. A galaxy where all voices could be heard. A galaxy where technology served people, not the other way around. A galaxy where one small human could change everything.